Hello, I'm Novel Guananta, and for today, I'll be presenting and discussing about the Metrot business case. Okay, for today's discussion, we're gonna simply discuss about the background, what is actually happening, and next I'm going to suggest some practical solutions, and then finally we're going to take lessons from this case for the better future. Okay, to start this discussion, I'll give a quick overview of the situation. So, Metrot recently do some change in ownership and management, but unfortunately, the transition didn't go as smooth as expected. So, now the question is, what went wrong during the transition? What is actually happening? So, to answer this, let's analyze the situation. So, the first issue is a lack of transparency and trust. We can see this from the way that the new manager carried out unannounced factory inspection without explaining why they are doing it. And then the second one is job insecurity and unprofessional redundancies. This was shown by a layoff to around 60 employees from the R&D department without any reason provided. And then the next one is operational overload and change fatigue. So basically the management just introduced several initiatives at the same time, such as new computer system, mandatory English training, etc., which give a lot of pressure to employees. And then the last one is severe culture shock and disconnect. Yeah, they just miss the previous supportive and caring workplace culture. And on top of that, they don't have a clear understanding of the company's long-term goal. So overall, I can say that the main problem is all about clarity, transparency, and trust. So to solve this situation, I suggest three practical solutions. The first solution is freeze non-essential initiative. As I mentioned before, initiatives such as a newcomer system and mandatory English training must be on hold. A lot of initiative in the same time has been proven to make them burn out. So instead, they can focus on important operational change. And the next one is host immediate town halls. So the company must create an open meeting where employee can ask question and share concerns. With these open meetings, I believe that employees will get clear updates about the company's plan and also clear explanation about the layoff reason. So therefore, with this transparency, the trust will gradually alive again. And then the last one is empower local management. So local management should be given more flexibility to adapt those decisions to the needs of their teams. I strongly believe that with trusting local managers, it will rebuild the trust between management and staff and helps bring back the family-like culture that employees miss for. And then overall, the solution is all about slowing down the pace of change and then improving communication so they can rebuild employee trust. Now, we enter the end of our section. So, what can we learn from this? So I got two lessons to learn so we can manage change more effectively in the future. Lesson number one is pace the change. So don't rush too much. People can't handle so much change at once. We must introduce change gradually. So the point is we create pace or a part of change, starting from the most important one. So don't implement all change at once. It will be overwhelming. And then lesson number two is communicate the why. Once again, I emphasize about communication and transparency. We must explain the reason behind change so employees can understand and support them. Okay, I think that's all for our discussion for today. So I can conclude that the biggest lesson from this case is successful change is not about introducing new strategies. It's about bringing people along through clear communication, trust, and a well planned transition. Yeah, so that's all for me. I hope we can learn this lesson together to manage change more effectively in the future. Thank you.